The following review is going to be on the Studio Series Core Class Spike WITWICKY. Stay tuned. Rodimusbill here, and today we're going to review on the Core Class EXO-SUIT Spike WITWICKY, part of the Transformers Studio Series line, but this is the new Core Class figure. First, take a look at the box. It is EXO-SUIT Spike WITWICKY, 8 years old, Transformers the movie. There is a cutout up there, no plastic. I've opened him already. Transformers Studio Series. There's cool Spike right there. And there's Spike, says Core Class. And on the other side, it's an art, and then it says 11 steps, Transformers the movie, EXO-SUIT Spike WITWICKY, and there is the UPC. All right, so now once you open him up, and on the very back, there'll be tissue paper here where you will have blast effects. So you don't want to forget that. And I guess if you want, this could be inside Unicron with a like a background, because he is Studio Series and they don't do small backgrounds. But you could. And first thing we noticed here, we'll put him to the side. Let's lower the camera. And two blast effects. They're both yellow, hard rubber or plastic. Now let's look at the instruction booklet. Okay, first thing you see when you take him out of the box, he is not transformed correct. His arms are up like that, so you just rotate the arms up and then rotate them down. And then the blast effects go in these little holes, and there's Spike. And pretty self-explanatory instructions. And when he's in the vehicle mode, you put the self blast effects in the back as thrust. And there is that. Now, we'll take a look at Spike. Let's see, I guess when he first comes, I forgot how he was, but I open up. He becomes like that. So you just gotta rotate him around and let's see. There. So now you have the fists out. Here's these little blasts right there. Are these? That's not really blast effect compatible. But now let's look at Spike. They actually painted his face. Well, they actually painted his hair and his face. No lips or mouth, but that's okay. At least it's a painted face. And you got some yellow, you got some red. It's that light blue. And basically, he is blue and white. Not really a backpack, just these two wheels here that actually move. You get the two thrusters in the back right there. And all that. And what's pretty neat is if you look at this right here, this in the back, you can actually look, his head can turn independently of the face shield, and you can also rotate this. Because when he's in robot mode, you want this to be flat like that. So that's pretty neat. I like how they put that little thing in there so you can move his head. Let's see, his arms, this hole, this, get the wheel. Well, I guess really you can't do a 360. You can only go from that far because the wheel hits back like that. When you put it there, this arm could bend 90 degrees, but it can't straighten out. It's on that like mushroom peg right there. You can rotate it 90 degrees at the elbow, but you really can't straighten this arm out. I guess that's what you can do. There's a double joint right there. Other arm the same way. You can only do it that far back. You can do it like that. And let's see the legs. So the arms are very hindered. The legs, you can do a 90-degree kick forward, a 90-degree kick back. It does almost the full split. You can throw on a ball joint. You can do the knee 90 degrees, and it's got spin at the knee. Same thing with the other foot, like that. And no waist rotation. That would have been nice. But, and there you have Spike WITWICKY. I'm not really sure what they thought the scale would be, but we're gonna see how we're gonna bring in a couple of figures, all different brands and lines to show you. So there is Spike, and this is the Spike WITWICKY that came with this Bumblebee, one of the first Bumblebee origin figures. So I guess that went with that, but now this Spike is the same size as Bumblebee. This is going to be Daniel in that hideous one that came with Slug. Let's see. Really, I mean, it is what it is. No knee articulation. You can move the hand, and that's about it. But that would be Daniel and Spike. Now we're getting to a little taller Bumblebee. This is the Bumblebee Origins. So he's a little taller than Spike. And then we get to, this is the Volkswagen Bumblebee that came with the Bumblebee movie, a deluxe. So that's about right, because Spike was always about, not half a Bumblebee, but a little bit taller. And when we get to Studio Series 86, this is both part of the movie. So there is Jazz and Spike on Moonbase 2. So, yeah, like I said, humans are very hard to scale. Oh, we'll keep him there, and then we'll scale him with Seizra, or this is actually the Netflix Optimus Prime. So there is Spike with Prime. Like on the cartoon, Spike was about that big, but in the movie version, the robots were scaled a lot smaller, more realistic. So that is just how these two guys. Oh yeah, and we're gonna bring in Core Class Hot Rod, since he is a Core Class figure. And we're gonna bring in Core Class Optimus Prime and Core Class Iguanus. So he's a little smaller than most of the Core Class, but he's pretty good. So that is EXO-SUIT Spike WITWICKY. Alright, now let's transform this guy. Now, before we transform him, I want to show you what the directions said at the beginning, which I forgot to mention. What you want to do is rotate these, and you put these in here. And now that is how they fire. That is how Daniel wearing EXO-SUIT was able to knock down the acid cover, and that is how they fight the Decepticons. Okay? And these do not fit on the small one. Alright, now let's get him back to robot mode again. And then now we're going to start to transform him. Alright, so first step, you take the face bubble and you turn it. Either way, so it's flat against there. Then you take the arms and rotate it so the wheels are now facing front. Alright, now this gets a little tricky. You want to rotate this around like that. Okay? And then pull this down, rotate it around, and fold it up. And that's one arm. Now they got a little question of this clipping into here, but that's about it. So, other side, we're going to do the same thing. We are going to fold that around, rotate this like this, rotate it like that, and just move up like that. And this somehow soft clicks. And we got the arms nice and done. Now we go to the legs. What you want to do the legs is rotate at the knee. Okay. These will go down, and then you pull the legs back up again. So basically down, and then you just take the hip and you fold it up, combine these two, and that is your combine mode. And then you can take the thrusters and put them in here, the blast effects, And so that is the vehicle mode of the EXO-SUIT. And it's okay. I mean, it's got wheels that move. You got the 2 back wheels. You got the 2 front wheels. You got to realize, too, it's not supposed to be where you could break somebody's arms. This is just an EXO-SUIT that gives you an extra mode for driving. And if you look at the front, to me, it makes no difference if you do that, but the instructions have you doing that. So that goes like that. And then you got the front wheels. And then you rotate it, and you got this whole arm where the fist is facing forward, and you got the thrusters in the back. So you got the wheels over here. So this makes it even the way you fold the legs twice. There's the back. There's the other side. There's the front. There's the bottom. So, not a bad mode. At least they actually have, they were able to make the EXO-SUIT finally in a Studio Series line. And I think the Core Class was the perfect opportunity for them. Now we're going to do some comparison. Now, first vehicle-to-vehicle comparison, if you can call it that. This is the Spike that came with the buzzworthy Bumblebee. As you can see, not a really good one, but that is how those two compare. Unfortunately, this one doesn't transform, so now we're going to do Core Class. So you got Core Class Optimus. We'll just stick him there. Core Class Hot Rod. And now Core Class Iguanus. So they're all Core Class figures. This is the new line. So that's how all these guys match up. And this is the Bumblebee that came with the other Spike figure, the Origins Bumblebee. This is the first Bumblebee Origins figure that came out. And then we've got the Cybertronian mode. This is the Origin, I guess you'd call it. And then since Bumblebee or Spike was with Jazz on Moonbase 1, Moonbase 2, that's how those guys compare. And we're going to bring in Optimus Prime, and that is how those guys compare. And now to transform this guy back real quick, we're going to take away the blast effects. And one thing that I always do first, I'll do my little spiel. I always start from the way it's packaged. Because if a reviewer most of them start in vehicle mode, which usually one mode is harder than the other one. So I always start the way it's packaged, and I always make sure I go back. That way you guys get both sets of how to transform it. And also, if there is a link below to like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, or Amazon, or any other affiliate, please feel free to click. It helps me keep up my collection. Now, transform this guy back. We're gonna, well, here, we'll squeeze the feet down like that and rotate this whole area. Then what we're gonna do is take the hand and go up. We're gonna flip this around, and we're gonna make sure this goes in the back. Rotate the hand up and put that down. And then again, we're going to take this whole thing and rotate it up. Rotate this hand down. Rotate it that way. Rotate this that way. And then we're going to do the feet at the thighs. And then rotate the head. And then we'll just keep these back here so we don't lose it. And now Spike EXO-SUIT is back to being Spike EXO-SUIT. And I'm finally glad we have a mainline EXO-SUIT of Spike. A lot better than that silly things they gave us with Slug and that awful wheelie with Grimlock. But we actually got an EXO-SUIT, and that makes 2 mainline EXO-SUITs we've gotten in the last year or so. So Hasbro's finally doing what the fans want to see. All right, and that's it for this review. So please like, share, and turn on notifications so you can see when I do all my other videos. We do Transformers, we do DC, we do Marvel figures, we do DVD unboxings. I like to do toy hunts. I go to Target and Walmart almost every day to see what they have, and if they have a new figure, I let you know about it. And that's about it. All right. So this is Spike WITWICKY saying, oh shit. Rodimusbill out. And this is Spike saying, oh shit, it isn't even dented. Rodimusbill.